My name is Jason Hill, and I'm the lead designer at Flying Frog Productions. And we make Last Night on Earth and A Touch of Evil. I really love board games and miniature games. I grew up playing old Avalon Hill stuff and Games Workshop miniature games, so those have always had a good special place in my heart. Well, Warhammer 40K is what I grew up mainly playing for a long time, but there's just been lots of board games over the years too. You know, having grown up with Games Workshop stuff, you know, I always loved the Warhammer license and all of that. So I mean, it would be amazing to work on a game like that someday. But there's a lot of licenses out there that I think would be really fun to work with. Like the Star Wars license, I think would be crazy fun to do a game in the Star Wars universe. But I think most designers would probably love to play in that universe. So I've been playing games ever since I was a little kid, and designing games since I was a teenager. And it was just sort of a natural progression to start making games completely instead of just modifying existing games. And then about 12 or 15 years ago, decided that I was going to make a real go of it and just try to start an actual business. And so we've been working on it ever since. Well, we've got a couple of products we just released here at the show. For A Touch of Evil, the Supernatural game, we just released Something Wicked, which is a big boxed expansion for that. Virtually doubles the size of the game. And we also have some new expansions for Last Night on Earth coming out this fall. Survival of the Fittest adds a lot of new cards and rules, mechanics, and characters. And next spring we're releasing Invasion from Outer Space, the Martian game. And that's basically 50s bug-eyed Martians landing on Earth and attacking. And Carny folk are the first humans that they really encounter that sort of stand up as the Martians try to burn down the traveling circus. I think one of the most important things is just to get something down and a working prototype as early as you can, and then just start playing it and refining it from there. With most game prototypes that I work on, I'll get something going in about a night or maybe 2 nights that is playable, and I would say it changes about 50% of it at least changes the next time that we play it. You know, so get it onto the table as soon as you can, and then start refining it and adjusting it, and then playtest as long as you can. Well, the way we always do prototypes is pretty much it's gotten better over the years, but generally the prototypes are printed out cards that are just in sleeves backed by existing card game cards, and you know, cutting boards on just cardboard and drawing the stuff out in pencil so you can change it, and then just playing with really informal stuff and just getting it going as soon as you can. I guess one issue is just the notion of balance. You know, I mean, the more variables you add to something, the harder it is to balance, and a lot of times there's a subtle nuance for experienced people playing a game that new people might not necessarily get on right away. And so the longer we play test stuff, the more refined and balanced it gets. But a lot of times new players have trouble because the learning curve can be more difficult for, you know, some groups over others. One thing we've run into with Last Night on Earth is like that, where it's really well balanced if people know how to play the game and are really experienced zombie players and hero players. But when they first start playing, it's a little bit easier to get behind the zombies and know how to control them, whereas the heroes tend to get eaten a lot more earlier in the process because people haven't really figured out, you know, when to run, when to fight, you know, when to save their own skin. You know, the thing is that for most of the roles of the different characters, we actually get models and actors to play the parts. But for a lot of the townsfolk or people playing zombies, we'll get people we know, friends and family and whatnot. So it was just sort of a natural progression to have them be some of the townsfolk that you can encounter. And it's always fun to hear people's stories about how, you know, Lizzie the shopkeeper, you know, totally saved their heroes and like, oh, it's the most amazing thing. And so overhearing those stories, because a lot of times we'll have them come to the booth and walk around in costume as the townsfolk that they played, and just hearing people come up and be like, oh man, Doc Brody totally saved me last night.